Hi guys, this is Vysh from Vysh IAS and we are going to continue the Geography NCERT class 6th textbook. So chapter up to chapter 4 we have done. So chapter 5 and 6 we will do it in this video, and most of you have been asking for MCQs. So this is the Facebook page. I am going to put it in every video from now on. Facebook.com/IAS. Please go to this link and then like the page and turn on the notifications. Daily if you want to practice there are MCQs. You can write the answer in the comment section. We'll give you the right answer. Or if you want to buy the entire PDF with each having 100 questions, UPSC standard questions from NCERTs and standard textbooks or online sources, all are the good best questions you will get online at the cheapest rate. So just contact there for the MCQs. Now let's go for the chapter 5 and chapter 6 of class 6th. Okay, the PDFs please download from the NCERT website. If you want the link, tell me, I'll provide it to you. Okay, 1 second, I'll just reduce the size. Okay, major domains of the earth is chapter 5. Okay, so we'll see. Basically it's dealing with the important things like the spheres, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. We learned this in environment also, in Shankar also it's given. So this will be just a basic definition, because you can imagine class 6th standard, so they will be giving very simple definitions of each of this. Okay, so these are Greek words actually. Lithos meaning stone, atmos meaning vapor, hydor meaning water, and bios meaning life. Okay, so what is given here? The solid portion of the earth on which we live is called the lithosphere. The gaseous layer that surround the earth is called atmosphere, where we'll have oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. We'll see that later. Water covers a very big area of the earth's surface and is called hydrosphere. The hydrosphere comprises of water in all forms. Okay, that is even ice, water, water vapor, everything comes under hydrosphere also. The biosphere is actually the combination of all three. Okay, land, water and air together is called biosphere. Now we'll see each of this thing in a little bit detail. The solid portion of the earth is called the lithosphere. It comprises of the rocks of the earth's crust and thin layer of soil. Okay, so rocks, soil, that's in lithosphere. Two main divisions of the earth's surface, that is on the earth's basic surface it has also the land masses also, and also the water bodies also. Okay, so that is the continents and the oceans. All the oceans of the world are connected with one another. Look, so you should know oceans are connected with one another, not like our Black Sea or Caspian Sea and all, which are between the land. Okay, this oceans are all interconnected with each other. Okay, look at the map. Okay, we'll see the map. If you see here, we know the 4 oceans. Indian Ocean here, the only ocean which is named after a country. Okay, that is why now China is going and naming all the seas like East China Sea, South China Sea and all. Anyway, they are not going to get an ocean in their name. Atlantic Ocean, if you see, it is between these two. Okay, North America, South America and Europe, Africa. In between here you have the Atlantic Ocean. The entire ocean region here is the Pacific Ocean. So if you imagine the globe, it will be round in shape. So on this side also it will be Pacific Ocean. Okay, Japan, Australia and all. So we have the TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership. If you have learnt what's the CTA series, if you have not, there I have mentioned. So TPP will have I think 12 countries. Now USA has exited out of it. So all these Pacific Rim countries will be part of it. Okay, now there are 11 countries in TPP. So, and one more ocean is there, the Southern Ocean, or you will call the Antarctic Ocean, which is near the Antarctica continent. Okay, so that is a basic picture. 1 second. Okay, now we will continue. The highest mountain peak is Mount Everest, that you know. The greatest depth is actually 11,022 meters recorded at Mariana Trench. So that is the deepest point inside the ocean, and it is inside Pacific Ocean. Okay, so you should know like the height, like from sea level, if you go upwards, it's just 8,848, any known structure. Okay, but natural structure. But if you see depth, if you go, it is up to 11,022. So you should know the depth is more than the highest point which we know. Okay, here there are some names, static GK, not for UPSC, but you can go through. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, the first from India to climb the Mount Everest. Okay, and Junko Tabe is the first woman. Okay, and Bachendri Pal is the first Indian woman. Okay, so just static information, not at all required for us, for UPSC aspirants. Others maybe can note down. Continents, you know, 7 continents are there. We'll see just one liner about everything. Asia, largest continent. Okay, the continent lies in the eastern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent. All these things applies to India also. Okay, India is also in the eastern hemisphere, and Tropic of Cancer passes through India. Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountains. Okay, UPSC has asked once, what is separating Asia from Europe? Okay, also the country which is connecting Asia and Europe is Turkey. Okay, you should know that also. Europe is much smaller than Asia. The continent lies to the west of Asia. The Arctic Circle passes through it. Okay, so you should know that Arctic Circle, which is there in the northern hemisphere near the North Pole, that circle actually passes through Europe. Okay, that we'll see when we see in detail the mapping. Africa, second largest continent, equator or 0 degree latitude runs through the middle of the continent. And one important thing you have to know is all the three lines, that is the Tropic of Cancer, equator and Tropic of Capricorn, everything passes through African continent. Okay, we learned the country which is passing through each of this in a separate video. That time I'll tell you the country names, but you should know this. Okay, Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert, is located in Africa. The continent is bounded on all sides by oceans and seas. Look at the, okay, again world map. You will notice, okay, longest river Nile can be called the lifeline also for Africa, most of the countries. Again, country related, mapping related, that we'll see later. North America, third largest continent, linked with South America by a very narrow strip of land called the isthmus. This isthmus, strait, that kind of terms you should know the definition clearly. Okay, isthmus is actually a piece of land which is connecting one land with another land. Okay, but strait is a small water body which is connecting another maybe two oceans or two seas. Okay, Strait of Gibraltar is connecting the Mediterranean Sea with the Atlantic Ocean. I'll show you pictures clearly so that you will be understanding, but you should know. Okay, these are basic 6th standard knowledge. So UPSC aspirant should not tell like we don't know what is strait, what is canal, what is isthmus. These are all very basic terms. Okay, so here if you see this picture clearly tells, okay, isthmus is something, a land which is connecting two continents or two landmasses. Okay, narrow strip of land joining two lands. So here it is Panama. Okay, Panama leaks was in news. It's part of our current affairs, you should know. But strait, if you see, it is actually a water body connecting two other water bodies. So narrow passage of water connecting two large water bodies like seas and oceans. So it can be sea or ocean, but it is just a water body only. So here it is actually Park Strait. Okay, P-A-L-K, Park. Now South America lies mostly in the southern hemisphere. Again, mapping and all, we see different slides somewhere. Australia is the smallest continent, lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. Last video we saw like during Christmas Australia is having the summer season. Okay, so it is surrounded on all sides by the oceans, and it is also an island continent. Australia is actually an island, a continent, a country. It can be like everything. Okay, it has few states anyway, but it's a island, continent, country you can call it. Antarctica, completely in the southern hemisphere again, huge continent. South Pole lies almost at the center of this continent. South Polar region, no permanent human settlements. Okay, actually it's not allowed also, only for research and basic some scientific purpose it is allowed now. And Indian missions are Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. This is a, I think, old edition of textbook. The latest one more is there. Try to tell in comment section. Pause the video now and comment it now itself, because after this video you will anyway forget to comment. Okay, Maitri, Dakshin Gangotri, and one more is there in the current affairs. Name that research station of India. Okay, in comments. Hydrosphere, the blue planet concept, you know, in the world is having 97% water. Okay, nothing else is there. This is the like for students to understand, just for small children to understand the size difference. Okay, so if you see Australia here, it is represented in 6+2 8 blocks, so it is very small. Europe, you will think it's small, but it's larger than Australia anyway. Okay, so that is the size variation of the planets. Oceans, major part of hydrosphere, interconnected. We have already seen ocean waters are moving. Now these three we will be seeing in detail in other class textbooks later. Wave, tide and ocean current. Okay, wave, tide, ocean current in detail we have to see. UPSC ask multiple questions in prelims also, in mains also. We'll see in later things. Now 6th standard textbook we are just going through the terminologies. Okay, major 5 oceans. Okay, there are not 4 oceans, there are 5 oceans: Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern Ocean, which we saw near Antarctica, and Arctic Ocean near the northern pole. Okay, Pacific Ocean is the largest one. That Mariana Trench we saw, it is there around 11,000 meters. Again, lot of not too important information. This picture why they have shown is, see the coastline. Okay, the coastline is little bit rough kind of thing, and it is not at all smooth. So this is actually called indented coastline. Okay, indented. This term when you see, you should understand it is referring to this kind of irregular coastline. Okay. provides ideal location for natural harbor. Okay, so it is like ships can come in and dock in and then use for goods or transport or something. So it acts as a natural harbor. Okay, even we have in India also we have these kind of internet coastline, and India has a very long coastline actually. Atlantic Ocean, second largest ocean. It is S-shaped. Atlantic is actually between that North America, South America continents and the Europe, Africa continent. Okay, that is the Atlantic Ocean. The other one, bigger one, was Pacific. Indian is near India. And see this point, it is the busiest ocean. Okay, point of commerce. Atlantic Ocean is the busiest. You should know, because all the major economies are there. USA is there, UK is there. Everything is coming between that. So that is the busiest ocean. Indian Ocean is only ocean named after a country. Okay. Triangular, the shape, you know that we learn about Indian Ocean, the Indian Ocean rim, the dipole, the monsoon. That time Indian Ocean will be more elaborated in detail. Southern Ocean, we saw the south, nothing important. Arctic Ocean near the Arctic Circle. Bering Strait is there, that I'll show you in map in some other video. Bering Strait is near the it's in the Pacific Ocean, right of Japan you can call, or it separates the USA and it's the place where the international date line is there. Okay, something which decides the date. When you cross that line, the date is changing actually. Okay, that is, I'll show you in a different map. I don't have an image right now. Bering Strait, one question have been asked once. That is near the Pacific Ocean. As of now, just remember that. Atmosphere, again we have a separate thing in class 11th and 12th when we learn, we'll see. Just see the image. As of now, you should know the basic order: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So different pictures they have shown just to tell you what is where, like plane is flying here, a parachute is there, meteor shower is here. Again rockets will go, space satellites will go. So different layers and their different applications, you can tell, are different things happening there. Okay, everything we are going to see in detail, this chapters and all. Class 6th, you just have to see these images and just get used to it. Okay, nothing in detail, we'll do it here. Atmosphere height extends up to 1600 kilometers, divided into 5 layers based on composition, temperature. So there are a lot of factors which decide these layers. Okay, it's not like just temperature or just pressure. There are a lot of factors. Mainly nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, argon, different type of gases. Nitrogen is the maximum. Just remember that. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, you anyway know the cycle of life and plants, animals relation, all these things. Environment, you will be learning more about that. This again the mountaineer kind of thing they are telling, the climber's experience, because the breathing rate will reduce. When you are going up, the pressure change will be there, and then at altitudes you will be having difficulty to breathe. Anybody has gone for any trekking or gone to the Ladakh or Leh regions and all, they will understand this clearly. Oxygen cylinders might be required for most cases. Okay, because people will experience that atmospheric problem. Okay, they call it the altitude mountain syndrome, AMS. So it's actually a disease kind of thing which they are like putting boards everywhere in Ladakh. If you go, you will see that. Okay, so that is the pressure difference and problems there. Biosphere, this picture is there in every textbook you open for geography. There will be this connection of lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and the combined thing of everything is called biosphere. So this you will be knowing. Species, microbe, this and all. There is nothing like catchy or anything which you need for UPSC. That is why I am not reading it out. Okay, don't think I am just scrolling through the pages. If anything is there which you need to remember or which you need to carry forward to the next class, I will be telling. Otherwise, it's not at all required. The 3 domains of Earth interact with each other and affect each other in some way or the other. Okay, so just telling the same picture again: the water, the land, the air, how it's related, and all. These are all the basic things which anybody can tell. Then submergence of land can happen during tsunami. Again, like hydrosphere is getting affected, but that can affect the lithosphere. So they are just telling the relations. Okay, like you know the Indira point, which is the southernmost point of India, now it is submerged. Now it is not there. Okay, because of the tsunami in 2004. So like that. Then emissions and all these things which we do from the land, it's actually polluting the air also, polluting the water also. So, and this result to global warming, the Paris climate change, all those things we know. So that kind of thing. So there is relation between all the 3 phases. That's all. MCQs for 6th standard, not at all for UPSC, just for our revision sake of what we read. The mountain range that separates Europe from Asia is the Urals. This actually was there in UPSC once. The continent of North America is linked to South America by this also. Don't confuse, these are very basic things. Okay, isthmus. Strait is water body. Canal is actually linking, Panama Canal is linking the ocean with ocean, the Pacific Ocean with the Atlantic Ocean for the ships to pass. That is why Panama Canal was built. But the continents, both of them are connected by an isthmus. Okay, Sri Lanka, we saw the Park Strait, Sri Lanka and India. The major constant of atmosphere is nitrogen. The domain of the Earth consisting of solid rock is lithosphere. Largest continent, Asia. Second largest will be Africa, and third will be North America. Australia is actually the smallest one. Okay, so this is class 5. We will quickly see class 6 also. Chapter is, one second. Chapter is major landforms of the Earth. So I think mountains, plain, plateaus, and all those things we'll see here. Okay, little more size. Okay. So land features and all, hill, mountains. Okay, I beginning with hills only. So if you see, lot of landforms are there. Lithosphere, the continuation of that only. Here this box, if you see, the hill is a land surface that rises higher than the surrounding areas. Okay, so anything which is above the surface is called hill, but if that height increases more than 600 meters, it's called a mountain. So hill and mountain are same, only difference is height. Okay. Now what else is given here? These landforms are a result of two processes. This will be, sorry, you will be amazed to know that the ground you are standing on is slowly moving. So the earth actually is moving. Okay, the land mass. The earth is moving, obviously. I am telling the internal features of the earth, the land mass, the mountains, even the Mount Everest. If you see, they are doing the survey like how much Mount Everest is growing, because there is a process in which it was formed, the fold mountain concept, or the pushing of land mass. The plateau goes and hits with the Asian main continent. That not we see in later classes. Like Indian landmass, it went and hit the Asian continent, and that is how the mountains rise above, and that is how Mount Everest was formed. And even now it is pushing, and the Mount Everest is rising. Okay, by very minute amount you can tell it is rising. So you can Google for that. How much is the present height? How much was the original height when geography people started to measure it, and what is the height now? There will be a difference. Okay, read about that survey. So internal processes leads to upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface at several places. So this picture, I think your doubts will be cleared. Here if you see, isthmus is a small landmass, strait is a water body, island is there, then plain, lake, mountain, plateau, mountain range, glaciers are there, basin of the mountain, hills are small mountains you can call. A tributary is something like a river. It is a separate river actually originating somewhere else, but it will come and join the main river, so that is tributary. In other case, suppose the river itself is splitting into small other rivers, then it is called distributary. Okay, river is distributing it. We'll see river system in detail later whenever the chapter comes. Delta is this kind of thing in the mouth of the river you can call, where small land masses you can see like this, that is the delta. Okay, so this basic picture you will understand at least isthmus and strait, which may be confusing for some people. Okay. The second or the external process is the continuous wearing down and rebuilding of the land surface. Okay, so internal process we saw. Now this is the external process, where it is telling about the wearing down of the mountains, or the erosion process you can call it, erosion deposition. Okay, and this happens everywhere. Like, it's not like only land, water, ice, glacial we can call, like glacial deposits happen, glacial erosion happens. So it is there in all the forms of land. And different forms of land, mountains, plateaus and plains. Mountain is, again we saw, natural elevation of the earth's surface. The mountains may have a small summit and a broad base. Okay, small summit like here in picture you can see, and a broad base which we saw in the previous picture. It's considerably higher than surrounding areas. Some mountains are even higher than the clouds. Okay, you know the Mount Everest and all. So as you go higher, the climate becomes colder, obviously, natural thing. The same amount in some mountains there are permanently frozen rivers of ice, and these are called glaciers. There are some mountains you cannot see as they are under the sea. Okay, even under the sea there are mountains, you should know that. Now fold mountains, picture you can see left side, which is appearing as fold like this, that is the fold mountains. And this point GK you will be knowing, Mauna Kea, is actually in Hawaii Island in the Pacific Ocean. It is an undersea mountain, and the height is 10,205. So you should know it is even higher than the Mount Everest. Mount Everest is there in the land, and this is there in the sea, Mauna Kea. Okay, and this is even taller than Mount Everest, but it is under the sea, Pacific Ocean. Okay. mountain in line, they are called as ranges, mountain ranges we call. Then different mountain, famous mountain ranges are popular or bigger one, you can tell Himalayas, Alps, Andes. Okay, Alps in Europe and Andes in South America. Three types of mountains: fold mountains, block mountains, volcanic mountains. These are favorite topics of UPSC, and in our syllabus also, in UPSC syllabus these are clearly mentioned. Okay, so we need to know in detail, but class 6 I don't think they'll have something other than pictures or definitions, so we'll just see the things which is given here. Himalayan mountains and the Alps are young fold mountains. Aravalli range is an old fold mountain, you can call it. India, okay. Alps is in Europe. The range has considerably worn down due to the process of erosion. Okay, so it has come down due to erosion. The Aravalli is old fold mountains. Appalachians ends in North America. Ural mountains in Russia. We saw it distincts the continents Asia and Europe. Rounded features and low elevations. Okay, so it's just description of very basic or very common mountain ranges. That is all fold mountains. Everything which we highlighted is fold mountains. Block mountains is something like this. Okay, it's a totally different process where some land will be going down or going up, and it will create a block shaped mountain, and this top portion is called host and the bottom is called graben. In case of any multiple choice question, you should know host and graben. So like displaced vertically, like in picture, host, graben we saw. Rhine Valley and the Vosges mountain in Europe. So Europe, these are examples. Maps we'll see later. Volcanic mountains, again Mount Kilimanjaro, most popular one in Africa. Mount Fujiyama is in Japan. Okay, Japan, Pacific and all, they have lot of, actually it's also called the Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, the place which is near to this Japan or the Pacific Islands, the Australia, New Zealand area, there we have a lot of regions which are prone to earthquakes and tsunamis and this volcanic eruptions and all. So it's actually called the Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, mountains, this is just basic uses. You can call storehouse of water. Many rivers are originating, glaciers are there. So that is why you know the rivers are all perennial rivers, or it will be water will be available all the time at the mountain regions. The river valleys, terraces, flora, fauna, these are all basic things: fuel, fodder, shelter, all those things. Okay, I'm not going into detail about all these things because we are just getting used to the topic, that's all. Mountains provide sites for tourists. After your studies and clearing the exam, you will be going to a hill station, obviously, Mussoorie, where we have the academy. You can see all these things in person and experience the atmosphere also. So study well for that, so that you reach there. Plateau, flat topped tableland. Okay, so this is a picture of plateau. So this is obviously elevated, but it's different from mountain because this is how it will look. Examples, you will see Deccan Plateau, one of the oldest plateaus in the world. East African Plateau in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. Western Plateau of Australia. Tibet Plateau, very much important for our country also because the monsoon system entirely originates from here. The heat, because of which the air rises and then goes towards the Indian Ocean, then go to Madagascar, comes back. All those things are monsoon system. We'll explain later in that chapter. But you should know Tibet Plateau, Palmer Plateau. Okay, it is the highest plateau in the world also. It's very important for all the geographical phenomena in that region. Plateaus are very useful because they are rich in mineral deposits. So you know African countries and all, they have a lot of mineral deposits, whether it be gold or diamonds or whatever. So plateaus are very much important. Even in India, we have the Chota Nagpur Plateau, Deccan Plateau and all, where we have resources, coal, iron, manganese and all. Okay, distribution of resources is very important in our UPSC. We have a separate portion in our syllabus. So you should know plateaus are a very key source or key region where most of the natural resources are available. Okay, you should know that. Now again, basic faults and all we'll see when we see mapping. Kundu Falls, Jog Falls, Subarnarekha River. Rivers are very important. At least one question out of 100 is definite to come every year for UPSC. Okay, last time I think it was the T-Star River which UPSC asked. Many students did not prepare it and could not answer the question. And the question was a little bit difficult also. 3 statements. One statement was like it forms a border between India, Bangladesh or something, and some even tributary name of T-Star was asked. Most of students did not know that, and that is why that question became difficult. Maximum 10 to 12 rivers are there. We'll make a video separately for that and we'll just revise it before prelims. Okay, don't worry about that. Plains like this picture you see, beautiful place. You can see south in Kerala and all. You can see this kind of plain region, the farmers field and all, with coconut trees aligned. In China they have a lot of such areas. Okay, wherever rivers are there, good rivers are there, such plains will be there. So here important points. Rivers, actually they telling about rivers only. Deposit load consisting of stone, sand, silt along their courses and their valleys. This is from the deposit that plains are formed. Okay, like in the mountains rivers will originate, it will come down and it will settle somewhere with all the silt and all the things. So that is how plains are generally formed. So detailed thing about this and all, the river formation, the different levels and all, we will see later. Okay, different types of rivers, riverbed things are there, technical, that and all later. Now just know like plain areas near rivers, fertile area. Okay, most of the population will be settled in plains only, not in mountains or plateaus. Then again river names, I think they are given Ganga, Brahmaputra. India, Brahmaputra is there in the news now. Siang river, you know, it is turned black, or you can tell silty kind of thing in Assam region, Arunachal Pradesh region, and India has raised concern and reported to China because China is developing a tunnel there, a long tunnel, I think longest tunnel in the world. So there are issues going on. Brahmaputra is there in news. Okay, Yangtze is a river in China. Plains are most useful for human habitation, like I told. Then landforms and the people. So here also I think like human interaction is being told. A rope bridge, Arunachal Pradesh. Actually 2 years back UPSC asked a question like living root bridge is a phenomenon in which state, and it was Meghalaya. Okay, it was there in news. So like that you should know specific certain features which are unique and which is there in the news, okay, of different states. UPSC can ask questions from anything which comes in the news. That is one peculiarity of this exam. Okay, plain provides better condition, easy to grow crops, build a house. Nothing much I guess here. No useful points here, that's why I'm just scrolling. Pollution and lot of photographs of different places are given. I think chapter will be ending with this. I think deserts or the snake boat race which you see here in Kerala. The beaches, we have beaches almost everywhere, long coastline we have. Trees, forest, mangroves, Assam tea plantation, hilly areas. In Mussoorie and all, when we go we'll see these kind of things and all. River rafting. Again we have Shimla regions and all, we have Jammu and Kashmir, we have almost every type of climates in India. Okay, so this and all will be separate chapters later in I think GC Leong also, and in class 11th also, that we'll see. Few MCQs. Mountains differ from the hills in terms of elevation. Glaciers are found in the mountains. Deccan Plateau is located in India. River Yangtze flows in China. The important mountain range of Europe is Alps. Andes is in South America and Rockies is in North America. Okay, so like this try to complete NCERT very quickly. If you want to read it yourself, read it, else watch these videos, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, everything will get over. Okay, so till we come up with chapter 7, thank you and have a nice day.